We rely significantly on the internet today. Now, the reason why I say that is we often forget how much we rely on it because of the simple fact, opening up a browser, which everybody does, typing in a URL, everybody does, connecting to a back end, a website, an e-commerce site, social media, anything along those lines allows me to have an experience on the digital world. But when it comes to our requirements for a business to have access and capability on the internet, we now need to start looking at some significant changes in how we adapt and how we look at the system itself. There is a system on the internet called DNS, Domain Name Service. Now, the Domain Name Service literally is my connection to the internet. It tells everybody on the internet that if I want to go to www.bettersecurity.com.au, that when I click on that link or I type that into my URL, into my browser, the information from the internet is going to tell me where to go. Okay, it doesn't need to do anything else at the moment, but it does it. So your DNS is really, really important to the stability of your organization. Because if people can't get to your website, if they can't send you email, if they can't get to your e-commerce site, now you've got some significant problems with what is actually going on behind the scenes. So when it comes to DNS, you have to be aware of A, where it is located, because if someone picks it up and moves it, then you need to know about it and you need to stop it from happening. The second one is you need to know what your username and password is for it. Both these components are really, really important to make sure that you are always stable and always on the internet. We also invest a lot of time, effort, money, capability in our websites. And if you think about it, most websites, we used to go 10 years ago, a website was 5 pages, that was all it was. Now we've got blogs, now we connect to social media, now we e-commerce sites. Anything that we are using the internet for is usually based on a website. I won't go into things like Office 365 or Google Apps or anything along those lines because that's for another experience. But when it comes to websites, we still have to protect them properly. If you're using something like WordPress or Drupal, you need to make sure that A, your username is not admin and your password is not password. Because what happens out there on the internet, on the big digital world, is there are automated systems that go off and scan all of these websites and check to make sure that you haven't got as simple and basic a username and password as admin and password or admin and admin. So you need to make sure that not only is the password complex, but the username is complex as well. And again, restricting people's access to those two components also restricts people's access to the website themselves. If you only have one administrator account, that's good. If you want to have a second one as a backup just in case, that's good as well. But don't give everybody who has access to the website, including people who are contributing or editing information or anything along those lines, full access to the website itself. E-commerce sites are the same thing, okay? An e-commerce site is where you set up a shopping list, a shopping system. People can come and buy product of you, and then they can pay you money and get the product delivered to them. Great. That's how it's supposed to work. But again, there's still some caveats around how we protect that information. Again, usernames and passwords, two-factor authentication, also very important. And if you don't want to go down the two-factor authentication component, then try something like the CAPTCHA process that Google has introduced recently. Now, what we are looking for is username, password, and something else. That stops all those automated attacks that come through, and you'll end up with 40,000 emails that say this username was tried, this username was tried, this username was tried, ad infinitum. And your cloud-based systems are absolutely critical in today's world. So make sure that, again, you're using them, username, password, and two-factor authentication, whether that is Google Authenticator on your phone, an SMS to your phone, retina scans, anything along those lines. So you need 3 components to get into your system. The other thing about two-factor authentication is the simple process that if someone does discover your username and password, or you have reused your username and password, and Disney Plus in Australia's release in December is a classic example of what happened. People joined Disney Plus, they put in their standard username and their standard password that they'd used in 30, 40 other places. So what happens is the bad guys who'd farmed this information then used that in an attack, and lots of people got lots and lots of two-factor authentication because it was required to actually access the Disney Plus system. My name is Roger Smith. I hope this was useful. If you like it, please share it. Thank you.